Welcome Snoozie Fam to another video where we scour the internet to find some of the weirdest, most wacky dreams out there. You won't want to miss today's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content on dreams, nightmares, and all things sleep. This story is inspired by a subscriber that submitted their dreams to us, and it's about him getting hired to design and build the biggest, most devastating weapon in history. Now, let the dreams begin. As a young engineer fresh out of college, I could have never imagined that one day I would be approached by the United States government to build the biggest weapon in history, but that's exactly what happened in my dream. It all started with a knock on my door one day. I opened it to find a group of serious-looking men and women in suits who introduced themselves as agents from the Department of Defense. They told me that they heard about my work in the field of advanced propulsion systems and believed that I had the skills and expertise to help them with their top secret project. I was flattered and curious, but also a little nervous. I had no idea what this project might entail, but I couldn't turn down this opportunity to work on something so exciting and important. So I agreed to meet them at their office the following day. The meeting was inside the US Pentagon. I had to go through several security checkpoints before I was allowed to go into the building. At one point, I had to strip down naked while a government worker sprayed me down with antibacterial and antiviral solution. I was definitely not comfortable, but I kept thinking to myself, I'd do anything for an opportunity like this. When I finally arrived at the meeting space, I was led into a secure room with a large metal table at the center. The table was covered with many sets of blueprints and diagrams of what looked to be bombs from World War I and II. The agents then told me that they needed me to design and build a weapon unlike any they had ever seen before. It would be the biggest, most powerful weapon in history, capable of devastating entire cities with a single shot. I was both terrified and thrilled at the same time. I asked one of the agents, "What will this weapon be used for? I don't want to be responsible for World War III. The agent stared at me with an emotionless, stern face and said, "That is classified information, and unless you have a level 6 clearance, I'd suggest you keep the questions to yourself." I was quite taken aback from that response, but I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I was determined to do everything in my power to make it a success. Also, in the back of my mind, I didn't want to know what the US government would do to me if I had declined this offer. Would they silence me because I now know this information? I didn't want to take that risk, so I accepted the offer for the job. Over the span of 3 years, I worked closely with government agents, scientists, and weapons experts, fine-tuning and improving the weapon. It was a complex and difficult task, but I was up for the challenge. I pored over the blueprints and calculations, experimenting with different materials and design, and worked closely with my team of engineers and technicians. As the weapon began to take shape, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and excitement at the scale and power of what we were building. It was unlike anything I had ever seen before, and I knew that it had the potential to change the world. But with great power comes great responsibility, and I knew that we had to be careful with how we used this weapon. We worked closely with military strategists and diplomats to ensure that it would only be used as a last resort, in situations where all other options had been exhausted. Despite the challenges and long hours, I loved every moment of my work on the weapon. It was, without a doubt, the most exciting and rewarding project I have ever been a part of, and I was proud to be able to contribute to something so important. Finally, after 3 long years of working hard, the weapon was ready for testing. We only used 0.1% of the weapon's capabilities for testing, and even that had the potential to level mountains and reshape terrains. That day, several military Humvee vehicles took us to the most remote areas in the United States for the testing site. I was extremely nervous, standing on the sidelines as the agents prepared to fire the weapons that I had spent 3 long years to design and perfect for the very first time. A timer started, and when the countdown reached 0, there was a tremendous explosion, and the weapon launched into the sky with roaring speeds. The agents were ecstatic, and I was filled with pride and a sense of accomplishment. I had built the biggest weapon in history, and it had worked perfectly. From that day on, I was known as the engineer who helped to create the most powerful weapon the world had ever seen. It was a title that I wore with honor and humility, knowing that the work I had done would help to keep my country safe and secure. The weapon was dubbed Big John to honor the person who designed it, me. Through the years, Big John became a key part of the country's defense arsenal. I smiled with joy and pride, and then I woke up. Have you had a dream where you had the opportunity of a lifetime? What was this dream about? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click on that notification bell for more amazing content like this. Share this with a friend if you think they may need a little wake-up call. Thanks for watching, and until next time, sleep well.